All right. So let's see who we have here. So we got Terry, we got Carolyn. Carolyn, yay, Karen, hey, Chris. Chris, I thought you were going to be on your phone, but you're not. April, Tamara, we got Lori in the house. Kelly, okay, awesome. Wonderful humans. You guys, if you don't know each other, actually, do me let's just kind of go a free for all when there might be a couple more people filing in. But unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Maybe, how do you know me and what's your jam? Something like that. Just really quick, like little popcorn style thing. And there's no pressure to do it if you don't want to.
I'm trying to get my volume louder. I'm sorry.
Yes, same. Let me go ahead and turn mine up.
Maybe that's it. I can't figure out how to make it loud.
I can hear you.
Okay, I can kind of hear you, but let's try and make it louder.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
So I'm Karen Sodders, and I'm just going to quickly say I met Kat, um, well, really at the retreat we went to, and got to know you there. I met you before and did a couple mini retreats, but anyway, I'm really into yoga, and I did the reset, and I haven't shared with you all the things that have occurred since then, which are wonderful.
Oh, good.
Actually, yeah, they're good. They're all good. So anyway, that's a little about me, and I'm just excited to move forward this year.
This year meaning 2026
Yes, yes. I mean, today and yeah.
and always and
And
forever.
always, yes. Getting unstuck, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Who, just by a show of hands, who is on this workshop to get unstuck in some way? Yay, me too. Does anybody else want to share?
I'm Lori. I met Kat at actually a Toastmasters meeting, probably, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't know. I meet with her every month. So it's been a long journey, good journey. So I'm here if I have to apologize. I have not eaten lunch yet. I may just eat on the side here. So I might turn off my video. But so
Yeah, just a little housekeeping for everybody. If you have to do something like that, just turn
yeah,
the video off.
yeah.
It's really nice for me to see reactions and faces
Well,
when we're
then I'll
talking
just eat
about
over here
something
and
because
come back to you.
the body language matters, right? Um, and also, once we get started, we'll turn off all our mics so we have a really good, clean recording. So, okay. Anybody else want to share before we get started?
Sure. Um, I was at the women's retreat, which was excellent, really very productive for me and enjoyable. I had met Kat at the Sequoia Wellness Center and started getting to know her a little bit. But it's been a couple of years when I first met her briefly. We were in a Tai Chi class together. So that's always kind of, I don't want to say magical, but um, just a very nice way to meet someone. So I'm glad to be here to try to get unstuck. Thank you for offering this.
My pleasure.
I
Okay.
had a hard time unmuting myself, so I just wanted to say I'm Chris Radznowski, and I've known Kat for, I think we figured out somewhere between 15 and 20 years ish, back to the Chagrin days, and I love everything that she does, and I'm honored to get to know all of you. So.
Yeah, and Chris has the Essential Zen yoga studio in Aurora, and she does all kinds of cool things. I sub there every once in a great while when I can, but
I was just going to say we try to get Kat up there as often as we
yeah,
possibly
yeah,
can, but it's a bit of a drive. But
yeah, she has really good stuff like singing bowls and like yummy, yummy things. So
thank you.
yeah. Okay. Well, does everyone know how Zoom works? If you look at the bottom, there's a chat space, right? There's a chat space. So if you click on that, I have put a link in there for both of the worksheets we'll be using. You can play with it. I'll put it up on the screen too. So if you don't want to fuss with it now, no worries. I will send this out as a a recording with these links, so you can download it if you find it useful. So just a little, tech stuff here. But stay in that chat, and I'm going to give you a word. And just the very first thing that comes to mind when I say this word or phrase, I just want you to write or type in what comes to mind. One word thing. So habit is the word. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Challenge, lack of good habits, unhealthy. Yeah, they can be. Anything else? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you haven't yet. I'm not unmute you. Mute yourself. Okay. OCD. Oh my gosh. Yes. Maybe too much. All right. Bad. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's go to another phrase here. Lack of clarity. What comes to mind when I say that? Lack of clarity. Fog. Stuckness. Are stuck. Yes. Anything else? Not a good thing. Not a good thing, for sure. Unknowns. Yes. Confused. Perfect. Fuzzy mind, not being able to grasp a thought. Oh, okay, that's big. All right, let's move on to the next word, and it is purpose. Purpose. For those of us that run in the yoga circles, you might even say dharma, purpose. Meaningful life's mission. What is my question mark? Yes. Drive. Yes. Yes, all of that. Anything else? Okay. All right. Thanks for coming along. All right.
I'm sorry, what was the word? I can barely hear with my speakers for some reason.
Oh, a purpose.
Oh, purpose. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to get into, I usually have Miss Margie helping me out with this stuff, which I adore because I don't have to worry about the
And
tech.
it may just be my computer. I keep trying just to look to see where the volume is, and I know where it is,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
I'm curious. Okay, so Terry and Lori, if you could mute yourselves, and then we can have a clean recording. And then, if you do need to say something, just, wave me on or something like that. So those three things that we just played with are connected. And maybe you're going, yeah, duh. Of course they're connected. Like whenever we have a lack of clarity, we're not connected. We don't have a clear vision for what our purpose is. And whenever our habits don't align, habits are, and we'll learn this more as we get into this workshop, habits are more a symptom of the underlying root cause. And the only way we can really get through habits is to deal with the root cause. But they obscure our authentic self. They obscure our clarity. They prevent us from being able to clearly see our purpose. Or they take up so much space and bandwidth that we get driven away from our purpose. We go onto a tangent. And just by nod of head, can everyone agree with that to some degree at least? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to lay the foundation, and I don't want to insult your intelligence, but it's important. Yeah. Okay. Who's still unmuted? Go ahead and mute yourself if you can. I got you. Okay. Maybe I do. Okay. Let me share my screen, and then we will. Here we go. Let me make this bigger. How do I make this bigger? I don't know why that's not. Hold on a second. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I have Margie. Okay. Well, we can see this. Can everyone see this? Just nod if you can. Okay, great. Um, I've been having this weird thing with my Google Drive today, and I'm not sure what it is. Okay, so this is something that you have the link to, so you can download it. Obviously, it might not be, you know, good timing for printing it, but we'll have this up. This is one of the tools that we'll be using a lot of during this workshop. And if you look over here, symptom, it's synonymous with habit. And we're going to be playing with one of these symptoms. So you're going to choose which one of these symptoms really you'd like to lean into. Likely you can, I really want to make this bigger. Somebody, close window. Let me just see something. Okay, I want entire screen, my desktop. Yeah, share. And then I will go into here. I have to talk myself through this thing. Okay, now. And move this. Wrong thing. There we go. Oh, wow. Safari can't open the page. That's not good, guys. I don't know what this is.
What is that plus in the top right? Does that make your screen larger?
Um,
Your other right.
well, this would be a different page, I guess, but I only have one page open. Here's what I'll do, because I have this in my on my laptop. So we are going to find it here. I apologize. Anytime there's, okay, here we go. That's bigger and better, right? Could everyone see this better? All right. So these are the symptoms. So they're in categories. The first one would be food behaviors. That would be like craving sugar, having a sugar thing. And, I've known some of you long enough to know that that might be something you want to lean into today. Compulsive stuff, one of the ways we numb out, one of the ways we bring ourselves into some sort of, dopamine rush is to buy stuff. So, that might be something you choose. Scrolling, getting on Facebook or another social media platform and spending hours or more time than you care to scrolling or going down a rabbit hole looking for something, some sort of, uh, trauma or drama, rabbit hole. Another would be people pleasing and fawning. I've written a lot about that over the last couple of weeks, and it's one of the nervous system responses, one of the sympathetic dominant responses that isn't very much not talked about. So we all are very familiar with fight, flight, and freeze, but we rarely talk about fawning, which is a protective mechanism that's learned early in childhood. It's very, very common with women to be the nice one, to overgive, to put themselves last, right? To say yes and be agreeable. So that might be something that speaks to you today that you want to lean into. And then repeating the same cycles. Uh, I don't know how many clients I've sat with around, partnerships. Like I keep attracting the same kind of guy. Um, I go through this cycle of working my ass off and then I'm exhausted or, I keep bumping my head up against the wall, that kind of thing. And then feeling stuck. I know that's the general theme of this particular workshop, but if if you're finding that, I'm just in this crossroads and I can't make a decision for myself, maybe that's something you lean into. But what we're going to do is decide on one. Just choose one. And let me go ahead and make this bigger here. Does everyone have one they want to lean into, or do they have any questions before we really get started? Everybody good? Does everyone have one? Just shake your head if you do. Okay. All right. I'd like to hear from one of you that is super stoked about their particular topic, that they're like, oh yeah, I'm totally excited to lean into this one. So if you're that person, unmute yourself and just let us know what it is. Or don't.
I'm really excited to let go of scrolling.
Oh, scrolling. Who said that?
Kelly.
Kelly. Does anybody else do that? Yeah, I think that's pretty common. Great. That's super lovely. Okay, so so does everyone have something to write with? I want you to write down what you're leaning into, making sure that you're very clear about it so that you're not tempted to change your mind midway through this process. So the loop I'm choosing is to let go of scrolling, or the loop I'm choosing is to stop people pleasing, or the loop I'm choosing is to save some money by not compulsively shopping, right? Whatever it is. And then before we really jump into this, I want you to also write down why you're choosing this loop. What about this thing that feels big or activated right now or important? So take a moment to write that down. Okay. Now let's go to this column, how it loops. So with your particular thing in mind, let's begin to look at this a little more closely. So addictive food behavior, we eat the thing and we feel relief. Oh. And then very shortly after we feel bad about it, shame. Why did I do that to myself? Or, I have no self-control, whatever that internal dialogue, it shows up. And then, we beat ourselves up a little while. And then over time, we get a sense of overwhelm. It might be right away. It might be 2 weeks from now. Everyone's a little bit different. But we feel this sense of overwhelm. And what do? We reach for that food again, that thing. And the cycle continues to repeat. Now, shopping. You're going, oh, I just want a new pair of jeans. I'm just making this up. I don't know. I want to go buy some clothes. I'm going to go to, I don't know, Marshall's or Saks Fifth Avenue. I don't know your jam. But you're like, I want this thing, or I want a cute little new pair of earrings. And as you're thinking about that, you get this rush of dopamine. And you're walking into the store, you've got this mission, you're ready to go, you're you march to the jewelry counter and you start looking at all the beautiful things and you find the beautiful earrings that you want. You're like, those are it. And they get it for you and they hand it to you. And as you're walking, even before you buy them, as you're walking to the cash register, that dopamine drops off. It's gone. And then you feel empty again. And you might not go buy more stuff that day, but you might. You might like, oh, that wasn't it. I need something else. But we can see how that can loop and repeat. Scrolling. We feel stressed out. Does anybody feel stress? Anybody have stress in their life? So the way we deal with stress really matters. So, to turn off, a lot of times we think, well, if I get on my phone and start to just kind of scroll, I'll just shut down, which is not really how that works, but we do this. And it if you've noticed, a good session on Facebook or wherever, you don't end it by feeling better. Like you feel worse. You have less capacity. You have your energy is different. It has shifted into a lower, more depressed kind of energy. And it loops again, well, let me see what else I can find online, right? So it's this loop. People pleasing. This is old. This is old stuff. Now, when I work with clients one-on-one, when I work in groups, we dig into some deeper stuff over time. We don't dive right into the gnarly, hairy stuff, but this people pleasing thing can often be traced back to early childhood stuff. And the more dysfunctional of an environment you found yourself in, the more this is likely to be the case, okay? But it's pretty universal, especially for females, because sugar and spice and everything nice, that's what we're made of. But we please, and then, we abandon ourselves and we resent it. And then we feel guilty for resenting it. And then we please some more, and then we abandon ourselves more. So it's this constant pattern of shrinking into a space where you don't even know who you are. And so if that aligns, then that's something that can be leaned into. And then let's talk about the patterns. Staying stuck in the same pattern. The cycles might be months or years long. They might be weeks long. They might be days. I mean, I don't know. But whatever that pattern that you're leaning into, if it's something that you chose, you don't really see it. It's just what's comfortable for you. This is another thing that usually starts out in your very early days. I'll give you an example. I had parents that were pretty ragey. They were angry people. And the way they dealt with their emotions was to shout and use violence, right? So this became a normal phenomenon in my world. This is how people related to each other. So that cycle started early, and the pattern continued in my life until I saw it by picking partners that were ragey. And it kind of sucks, right? So, if you see yourself in that loop, that's something that we can lean into. And then fog, paralysis, indecision, stagnation. That's if you're familiar with the gunas in yoga, that would be considered tamaguna. We are like, it's true stuckness. It's very difficult to get out of. So we have indecision, for example, and we're like, God, I can't think my way out of this. So what do? We reach for something that just shuts it down more. It could be food, it could be alcohol, or whatever, TV, whatever, right? And it just keeps that loop going. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. So let's take a few moments, maybe a couple of minutes, to flesh this out a little bit more as it pertains to you in particular. How does this loop that you chose play out in your life? And get more specific, a little more detail so you can really see it. So for the next couple of minutes, write about that.
Can you describe that again?
Which one?
What we're supposed to be doing?
Okay, yeah, sure. So just so we're clear, Lori, what did you choose? What was your loop? Did you pick something?
Me or Lori?
Is that April? It sounds,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry. You sound just like Lori on there.
Oh,
I'm sorry. So what was your loop?
stagnation.
Stagnation. Okay. So you're going to write what that is in particular. Do you want to say? Do you care to share or?
My
Yeah.
why I picked that is
No,
it's,
not your why, but
oh,
what is the stagnation? How's that showing up?
You see Derek?
Uh-huh.
yeah, goals,
Goals. Okay. So
lack of purpose.
so you make a goal and then you don't do it? Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't even have goals.
Oh, no goals. Okay. So lack of purpose. You're just like, life just
What do
isn't
I
showing up.
what do I do now? Yeah, what's my focus? What direction am I going?
Okay. Can you see yourself in this in this column, how it loops, how this thing loops?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So how do you freeze? What does that look like in particular? Is it like you get up and you do the same thing? And then how do you numb out? And
By
then,
not exercising.
yeah. So what do you sit on the
By
TV?
not going to the gym. By
Yeah.
not doing the
Good.
Uh-huh.
I'm out of the routine,
Okay. Clear on that. But let's get specific about what you do instead of that.
Okay.
Instead of going to the gym, April does what?
Sit on my butt.
Sit on your butt. Okay.
Do some research on the computer.
Okay. So
I'm sitting too much.
scrolling like,
No, I mean it's looking things up and checking email, and
okay.
it's not like scrolling all day or anything like that. But
So you just spin on the
I'm-
computer and just do the how many times do you check your email every day?
once every 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad.
Right.
That's pretty good, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then you can see how that it brings you down and you're like, okay, now I really don't know what my purpose is. It just keeps
Right.
thinking you, right?
Right.
Okay.
Lack of clarity.
Yeah. And do you feel more frozen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
But
that's
I'm out of my routines. I'm out of my workout. I'm out of my, all that stuff. You tend to slip on the other things
yeah. Okay.
because something's not in integrity.
Yeah.
By not exercising, I'm not in integrity. So it becomes harder to accomplish all the other things that just seem to fall into place in another cycle.
Mhm.
So we have different cycles. I'm either kind of like all on or all off.
Okay. Can everyone relate to what April's saying? Okay. I'm going to go off script just a little bit here, if that's okay with everybody. Not that you know what my script is. But this is a tiny bit of coaching. Do I have permission?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Just have to get permission. So you're out of integrity with whom?
myself.
Okay. And when you are shoulding yourself, this is how I should be. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is what I should be doing. Whose voice is that?
Mine
100% or somebody else's?
could be accumulation of comparison.
Okay. All right. That's really a good insight. And who are you comparing yourself to?
Oh, everybody.
Okay. So when you do this personal development work, and many of you have, when you boil it all down to the nub, the overarching theme for most people is I am not good enough. Does that resonate at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Not good, but good to know. Okay. All right. Is everyone finished with that exercise? Are you more clear now, April? A little bit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do a little somatic work. This is one tool to get underneath this. There's many tools that can be used, but I really like somatics because somatic means body. Because when we really tap in and stay focused on our body is one of the most amazing things because it will never, ever lie to us. It is going to tell you the truth. The problem is most of us, kind of discount the body or we get busy and we don't pay attention. Okay, so we're going to really pay attention to what's going on inside. So,
Kat,
yes,
what word did you say? Somatics?
somatics. You've heard, like, this is the buzzword that's rolling around all over the place. Somatic yoga and somatic therapy and somatic, right? It's everywhere. It's been around forever. Every ancient system uses body work to get underneath these patterns so that they can be
Okay,
discharged. Yoga,
thanks.
by the very nature of the practice, is somatic. If you're not focusing on what's going on inside, you're not doing yoga, right? So we begin. Does anybody have any questions before we start this exercise? Or they need more clarity about their process and how they loop? Okay. So get yourself really super comfortable. This is going to be two parts. So we're just going to tap into the body and then we're going to come back out and then we'll go back in. So if you're comfortable with it, close your eyes. Get your spine nice and long. If you're exhausted, give yourself permission to lay on the ground if you want to. And just start to pay attention to your breath. Every exhale, just notice how your body softens a little bit more. The idea here is to let your body relax more and more and more.
Mm.
Now, I'd like for you to recall that pattern that you're working on today. Recall why and recall how it loops in your life. And bring it up. Bring it up with all of your sensory experience. Feel it. And without trying too hard, let this show up. Notice where you're feeling this pattern in your body. It might be a clenched jaw. It might be in your kneecap. It could be anywhere. But just notice. If you're paying attention, it's going to look like I'm right here, right over here. Pick me, wherever it may be in your body. Keep breathing, keep softening, but keep focusing on that spot in your body. It might be an area, it might be one little tiny spot. See if you can really feel the outline of it, the texture, the intensity. Does it have a shape? Does it have a color? What are the sensations? Really bring it to total awareness. Lean in. One of the things that could happen as you're doing this is it might move. It might not. But if it does, notice where it's moving and follow it. If it doesn't, just stay with it. Does it feel like it's getting more intense or less? Is it compressing or going numb? Again, we're just trying to get super, super laser and aware of what's going on in there. You know, it might be hot or cold. And then when you're ready, take your time. Put pen to paper again and write down where you felt that loop and the sensations and impressions that came up. So take the next minute or two.
Yes.
I see some of you are still writing. We'll take another few seconds. Okay. Let's go back in. Go back to the breath. Go back into the body. Start with ease. Let your body feel. Let the tension drop. Let the breath soften. And then again, recall that loop that you're working on today and where it's showing up in the body. It might be in the same place, or it may have moved. Either one is fine, but go in. Go in and pay attention to it. Get really laser about what's showing up in that spot in your body. And as if you could shrink yourself down and go in there and sit with that aspect, that spot, that place in your body, that lovely, lovely place that is there for your protection. That's the only reason it's showing up for you right now. But I want you to ask it. Please show me how you're protecting me with regard to this pattern, this loop. See if it'll show you. Like when you do that thing, I constrict to protect you from numbing out or whatever, like it, let it tell you. And also let it tell you what you need to know about that pattern. See if it will tell you, say body or that aspect of my being. What do I need to know? What do you need me to know about that pattern? And see if anything comes up. Listen. It might not come in words, it might come in sensation. It might be one word or a phrase. And then ask it, what are you trying to protect me from? Listen without any regard to the message. It might not make sense at first. It might make total sense. It might be surprising. What are you protecting me from? It might loop you way back to early childhood or your teen years or an event that was traumatic, right? What are you trying to protect me from? And then finally, and this is really important, ask it to show you what it would feel like if it didn't have to protect you. It might sound like, beautiful aspect of my body, please show me what it would feel like if you didn't have to do that for me anymore. Show me what it would feel like in this aspect of my being. And let it show you. Let it show you what dissolves, what disappears, what softens. And as it does, notice what that new sensation feels like. Some sense of surrender, of letting go. And just spend a couple of breaths with this new sensation. And when you're ready to come back into the room, take a few moments to write down whatever experience that you had. Okay. Let's take a moment if there's anybody that wants to share, because sometimes there's some pretty cool stuff that shows up here. There's no pressure, but I would love to hear your experience. So if you want to share, unmute yourself and go for it.
Hey, Kat, I have a question on mine. So my sharing is my compulsive checking, which was kind of the giant one that jumped out at me under the scrolling. Like I don't really doom scroll, but I compulsively check, and I blame that on business stuff. But um, where I felt it was like at first I thought it was solar chakra, and then I was heart. I'm like, it's like right in between. Um, but I thought that was kind of like a weird spot because I'm used to like if I do something like this, it's very clear for me like it's a certain chakra.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was kind of like in between those two. So, and your thoughts on that?
Yeah, totally. It could, like I said, it could show up anywhere in the body, but you know your heart center is it's your center, it's your core, it's your intelligence, like it's that felt intelligence. And then your solar plexus is your personal power. So if you
Hmm.
merge those two, it's that.
Yeah, I lose my personal power because I'm so concerned about everything that's going on and how it's affecting me or affecting someone else.
Well, okay, so the compulsive checking underneath that, like, so say you do a Facebook, see if I've got this right. You do a Facebook post, or you put a
No, not like a social stuff. Not like
but like you put like a workshop up.
no, more like just the constant checking of the schedule to make sure that classes are full, to make sure that a teacher is going to be happy, constantly checking our, CRM to make sure that there wasn't a client who potentially sent us a message and I'm 2 minutes responding instead of 30 seconds, or a teacher sent a message about something. And if I'm not on it instantly, I've let them down.
Okay.
So social could care less. Like I don't.
Okay. All right, I
But
see you now. Okay, I
that's
understand.
where, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Did everyone feel that here when they heard her? Shake your head yes if you did. I so totally did. Um, can you see the fawning response in that?
The
Take
what?
the fawning response, the people pleasing, the fawning.
Yeah.
Okay, you are so concerned about not dropping the ball or having somebody else suffer in even the most minuscule way at your hands.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Okay, so that's fawning.
that's fawning.
Interesting. Because I
And
don't think of myself as people pleasing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess in that case, I really am.
well, I mean, labels can really pull us off, of course,
Yeah.
but you put yourself last.
Last, always.
Okay. What does that say in your heart center? What does that say in your solar plexus? It's that blend.
It's that blend. Mm-hmm.
It's the blend, and your body didn't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
amazing.
true.
Okay. Can everyone, I'm like, oh my fucking God. Okay. I cut. Let's make this bigger.
I gotta figure out how to mute myself again.
That's
There.
okay. I think we might keep you on for a little bit. I just want to see everybody's face. Can everyone feel that? Does anybody resonate with that?
I was actually thinking the same thing. Again, I don't really, I scroll, but it's the constantly checking, like I will check this email and then this, I have all these emails on my phone. So I'll check this email account, then that email account. And then I go back and then I'm like, I got nothing done because I'm doing this. And I'm like, I'm trying to do, say something at work. And then I'm like, well, let me look at this email from something else. And I'm like, that's got to stop because you lose the losing time is what got me there. Because you're losing your time to get anything done every time I do that.
Yeah.
So, and I felt that in my back. I don't know what that was all about, but there's a spot in my back that always gives me issues every once in a while. And that's exactly where I felt it.
Yeah. We've all heard the saying, the issues are in the tissues.
Yeah. Yeah.
These patterns will end up with, you'll manifest a physical, discomfort or ailment.
Mhm.
These unresolved things that create a barrier from us, living our authentic life, right?
Mhm.
Amazing. Is this landing? Does this make sense? I want to make sure that everyone's following. Okay. And I didn't say hi, Carolyn. I got your first name, but I haven't seen your pretty face. I don't know who you are. If you can put in the chat your last name, because I know several Carolyns. And Joe, my love, it's so good to see you on here. Oh, here she is. Yes, totally. Yes. Okay, good. I haven't checked the chat here. Let's just take a second here. Okay. Glad you guys are both on. Okay.
I want to add something, if I may, to the checking something all the time. Just briefly, because it was not the one that I blew for myself, but when Chris was talking, and then when Lori also, I'm retired, and I find myself, okay, I check the weather, but not extremely, but I'm always checking my calendar. You know, again, let me say, I'm retired. And, oh, yes, I've got Tai Chi, and then and I know that. But it's like maybe something changed in the last 5 minutes. Now, recognizing that I'm the only one who has access to this calendar. So I just wanted to say that. And now I'll obviously have another thing to loop into after this workshop. But I, I, I think there's some also bouquet of other things in addition to the people pleasing going on with this action. But I'll have to sort that out too. But I just wanted to say, I hear you.
You bring up a really potent point. You know, we're taking a dropper of stuff today because there's layers. And when we get to the root of these layers, say for example, well, let's use the fawning response, and I'll just make up a scenario that's fictitious, but probably can resonate with a lot of you. Your little girl, oh, that sweet, precious baby, especially if you're an oldest daughter. Can you do this? Go get that from mommy. Be a good girl and do this. Little girls don't act like that. Behave yourself, right? Like we've all heard it. Or little Johnny's trying to talk. You need to be quiet, right? When we find a pattern in the body, we've all found this pattern. Everyone found a little something, yeah. We can trace that back to something that's old, that was formative, right? And then when we see it and we begin to discharge that root, then there's many other patterns that are tied to it. So, like I said, these are symptoms. They're not, diagnoses. They're symptoms of something deeper. And that's the work that I love to do. That's the work that I do.
I was going to bring something up on top of the scrolling and all of that. I also feel that that could be, like sometimes I have a hard time as I'm doing the dishes, but I don't finish the dishes because then I go and do this and then I go and do that. And I'm really trying to work on, and I guess that's where the losing time and the not maybe checking, but going here and then going there and trying to learn to do your dishes, wash them, dry them, put them away, before you go to do something else. Because I feel you lose time in that too, because I'm
Well, okay.
all mixed
Is
in that
that-
scrolling, losing time. Because instead of scrolling, I might be jumping from thing to thing.
Is that part of being present
Correct. Yeah.
or
Yes.
or
Try.
thinking about other things as you're doing the one thing instead of being completely present?
Complete. You're right. Exactly. And I know that I'm working on it really hard.
Well, I want
have
to
to
say
work.
a
I
little
have to work on that. Yeah.
I want to say a little something about that because I think I have never been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm ADHD. And I
Yeah.
need to have, it's almost like a puzzle.
Mhm.
So you'll get a guru, a habit guru, or a how to be super productive guru. I don't know what you call those. But they'll say, do one thing at a time and put it in a box and like be that can make you loop too.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
way I've dealt with this, and I'm not saying this is right, obviously I've got plenty of shit myself, right? But I make it a game. I'm going to clean my house. I might turn on tunes. I do it with a sense of devotion. I get to clean
Yeah.
my house, right? So I'll do a few dishes and then I'll, I don't know, turn on my vacuum cleaner and I just play with it and just kind of make it this process. Your process might be brilliant, Lori.
Yeah, I mean, it is, except like Steve will tell you, I'll turn on my coffee to get it going, and then he'll go, "Where are you?" Because it's boiling over because I'm back in the laundry room, trying to think I can get my laundry done as my coffee's done. But
Okay, so that's a different loop.
that's a different,
I have to be productive loop.
that's what it is. And I think that's even with me checking because I can't even sit. Like we'll get in the car. This is dumb. I try really hard. We get in the car, we're gonna go somewhere. First thing I do is look at my phone. I'm like, why am I looking at my phone? Because I'm not doing anything. I don't accomplish anything at all because I just look at it real quick. And then I think, oh dear gosh, put that phone down and put it away. And you don't need to look at it while he's driving. Just, I think that is trying to make sure you accomplish constantly something.
That's a loop you get to work it in.
Yep.
It collapses slowly. Joe just wrote something. I have ADHD and have been on medications for it for years. I find making a to-do list every morning after meditation helps. Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes. Making a list really helps me. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I work off a list sometimes. Yeah, I mean, we all learn how to function in the world, but we don't want to function with these things playing out that prevent us from our authenticity. I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand being around bunch of people putting on airs, small talk. I can't do it. Like I can't. It's not my jam. I like to be around people that are just real. Like they're doing them, right? And they're willing to lean into their shit and say, yeah, I'm still working on that piece of myself, but it's a process. Like, okay, let's get back on track. Not that we were really off track, but um I want to really have you get a huge win by the end of this workshop. So I'm going to share again. Oh, I guess I did. Turn this down. Okay. All right. We are going back to our page here. I gotta move this over. Put it in the center here. Do you love how I talk to myself? All right. So we're going to go back to the loop you chose. I know there's many others and there's lots of juicy ones you can pick, but for the purposes of this workshop, let's stick with what we started with. So we're going to look at our pattern and then clear over to the right are things that break the pattern. And these are overarching things. So, the minutia and the detail is left out purposefully because everyone's different. So the food be, emotional, like metabolizing whatever emotion is stuck in the way. People can have for example, stuck anger in their body for their entire life and never do anything about it. And the way they manage that is through compulsive behavior. One of these symptoms, maybe. Feeling safe. Really quick story. Many of you know my background. I really didn't feel safe for most of my life. And my lovely husband, shortly after we were married, I said to him, I really feel safe for the first time in my life. And I have you to thank for it because you hold a container for that, right? And he goes, well, I'm happy to make you feel secure. And I said, no, you don't understand. Safe, not secure, safe. And he thought about it. He was raised in kind of a Mayberry RFD environment. Like his whole, environment was pretty normal. And when he understood that, it blew him away. Because unless you understand it, you don't get it, right? You don't get it. Some of you do get that. Lineage repair. Another example, I come from a background, both sides of my family were poor white people. Poor. My grandmother lived in a lean-to. She had several bouts of starvation when she was a child. So we learned how to, smash some food. Let's go back to the compulsive stuff, the dopamine hits, retail therapy. Lack of purpose can create that. If we're like, I know my purpose, I'm really like in it, like I'm very clear on my purpose. I could give a shit about going and buying something from the store because I'd prefer to, lean into what I'm doing here, right? Knowing who you are, rooted in yourself, that prevents us from going out and spending money that we don't need to spend. The scrolling, the digital numbing, that's a regulation of the nervous system. And having energetic boundaries. Chris, we were talking about that, the OCD constant checking, those energetic boundaries, like I need to put myself first. And what does that look like? I can check this stuff in the morning, in the midday, and at night, or, before dinner, lights out by 6, whatever, like, so this is one of the ways we get through that and begin to build the agency around our most authentic being, right? The fawning response, again, this is boundary repair, reclaiming that identity. We succumb to what everybody tells us we are rather than who we really are. Obviously, if you didn't feel safe when you were growing up, it's difficult to shift out of that, but it's doable. Recognizing it and doing some work around ancestral stuff gets you into a space of safety. Repeating the same cycles, lineage clearing, karmic insight, integrating your identity. Again, this is all about authenticity and your dharmic pattern, right? Root cause happens. Let me just put it this way, just so you get a broader context. Have you noticed that babies don't come in perfectly pristine and completely blank canvased, right? They have personalities, they have nuance and ways of being. They come in a certain way. One baby might be completely chill and the other one gets startled at every little like noise, right? Every baby comes in different. And that is because, and this is Vedic teachings and, many other ancient teachings, because it's not our first rodeo. We've had other lifetimes. And so we might be carrying in an oppression. Tamara, I know you kind of remember a session we had where we collapsed an impression that changed a fear that was stuck in a past life. So that's one place where we can look for these things. Early childhood conditioning is a huge one. And then traumatic events that have happened or different patterning that has happened throughout your life. So there's lots of different places where we can look for these things. Finally, feeling stuck. This is a lot of past life and early childhood development work. And the work we're doing today helps to bring this forward quite a lot. So I'm just curious, and I'm going to have you do a little more writing here to kind of just pick a thing in that column that spoke to you with regard to the loop that you chose. And feel into which pathway, which piece feels like your medicine, and just write it down. So for example, I feel indecision and I feel like I need to embody safety, just as an example. And then scribble down why this feels like your medicine right now. It could be a really brief statement. It might be something that you need to write a few sentences about. Okay. So far, we've identified a pattern and we understand the reason for that pattern. Hopefully, at least we're getting more clear. Our body showed us more about it. And hopefully we have a sense for what this deeper self is trying to tell us. But we're going to go into our even deeper self. And for those of you who have studied with me for any length of time, we've done this before. So it's not a surprise, but I don't think we can do this enough. So let's get ourselves comfortable again and close your eyes. And we're going to pretend that we are witnessing ourselves. So we're not attached. We're witnessing ourselves in this loop that we have chosen for today. So because we're witnessing, we're not actually engaged, kind of watching ourselves. It's like our higher self is looking at our lower self engaged in this. So there's no reaction, there's no contraction, there's no compulsion. We're not abandoning ourselves. We're just watching. And as you breathe into your beautiful body right now, you're feeling clearer. You're also feeling very rooted and steady. And as if you're watching a complete stranger participating in this loop, and you are free, and you are grounded, and you are clear, and you are steady, and you're feeling your body and all the energy moving through it with ease. There's flow. I want you to come up with one word without thinking, let it bubble to the surface. One word that describes this state for you.
I'm on a Zoom call on my phone.
What was that?
I'm on a Zoom call on my phone.
Okay.
And if they ask, I don't think there's any more.
That one word, whatever it may be, it has a higher quality. Love, peace, joy, freedom, serenity, whatever that word is for you. Feel the feel. Feel the spaciousness of being able to just watch, just observe. Keep breathing. Soft, easy, flowy. And then I want you to tack on 2 words in front of it. I am free, I am flowing, I am joyful, whatever the word is. And in your mind, repeat that as a mantra. I am your word. And say it in a way that it is true, that it is already done. I am clear. I am joyful. Whatever. And repeat it a few more times. Let the resonance of those words, that I am statement, sink into every corner of your body. Let it fill even your field around you. I am. But there's likely to be at least one place, there's going to be one place that is most prominent, that you feel it in your body. I am. Whatever your word is. Just notice where it's showing up. Then, when you're ready to come back into the room, take a moment to write down your word and where it showed up in your body. All right. Did anybody have anything they want to share? A lot of times there's some pretty cool stuff that bubbles to the surface with this work. Did anybody feel it? Does anybody want to share their word? I would love to hear.
Calm.
Go ahead.
I am calm.
Calm. Where did you feel it in your body?
Well, I didn't think I felt it, but I did notice my shoulders relax. So I think maybe there.
Okay. Now, here's the trick. Can you bring that sensation right back? Do it. I am calm. Feel it. These are energetic muscles that get to be built. I am calm. Right. Kelly, you look like you want to share?
Oh, sure. I am trustworthy, and I really felt it in my in my root and in my seat on the chair.
That's the first time I've heard that word. That's an amazing word. That's coming from something old.
Yeah.
Wow. And I know a little bit about your background, that is potent. That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'll ask you the same thing. Can you bring it back?
Oh yeah, I've been holding it the whole time. Like,
Keep
let's
holding it.
cultivate this.
So the exercise, the homework is that. Did everyone feel something? Did they feel a shift in their well-being? Okay. keep playing with that. If you need to rewatch this portion, do that. You know, you're going to get the replay. It's important because when we can, this is nervous system regulation. Chris, that was one of the things that needed to happen to get you out of that loop, right? This is re-regulate. Could you feel your nervous system dropping? Yeah. Okay. So this is the exercise. Awesome, awesome stuff. Old stuff will not be able to attach to you. Did you want to unmute yourself? No. Okay. Okay. Does anybody else want to share?
There. I have a really hard time on my phone unmuting and finding all the other buttons. They're just hidden somewhere. So my word was actually calm as well, which is kind of funny. Um, but I felt it in my brain and I kept focusing on that because I was like, okay, so is this third chakra or is it, third eye? Is it my crown? I'm like, it was like the back of my brain. But then when she was saying shoulders, I'm like, I wonder if that's kind of like, because I always have cervical issues and tension in my neck. So I'm wondering if like the tension in my neck and my cervical issues are nervous system related.
I wonder. Yeah, it's funny because your whole body is showing the
Oh.
energetic map of, ancientness, right? This is
Hmm.
where your reptilian brain is. It's where your survival mechanisms are. It's your like fight or flight. It's where it's fires. So the science of it makes total sense.
It does. Okay.
Amazing.
See, that's what you need to clarify these things because I can just feel like it's in the back of my brain, but I don't understand like why.
But well, therein lies the reason why group work is so important because when you share and we get context, everybody else gets to benefit. Right? So did everyone get a benefit from that? Like, it's important for us to be able to, like, when you have an experience and it maybe didn't land so strongly, saying that helps us to bring it to the surface to figure out what's going on because there's something else there. So, it's one of my superpowers. When somebody's got something showing up, I'm able to see what it is. And that helps a lot. Okay. Well, I love to honor time. We've got about 5 minutes before we sign off. So I just want to open for questions, comments, coaching. If you need a little more support, anything that shows up for you, I would love to, spend the next 5 minutes doing that. Tamara, you've been awfully quiet. Are you doing okay?
Yes, I am. I'm getting a lot out of today's session, and it's very much needed right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah, I miss you too.
Yeah, I follow you on Facebook, so I see what you're up to and your glorious adventures and all that stuff. So it's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, I said I wouldn't pitch, but I will say that Lineage and Legacy is the next group program that I'm launching, and it starts in January. It's going to be an intimate group that will be similar to this. It's this kind of work, but we have the bandwidth to go in and really root out stuff and get more and more established in self. And the container, I think one of the most brilliant parts of the container is the community. Obviously this work is important because there's no reason to walk around suffering and having these symptoms obscuring your beautiful, gorgeous self, right? We need to be who we are. But inside of community, you actually are seen and heard, and that is powerful. So we will be having, for those of you who want to participate in this, we will be having a call to establish some of the details. We have our dates set, so it'll be twice a month that we meet for something like, it'll be like this, but it'll have practices and coaching and it will be led in a way that supports where the group is. So it has this immutability and this ability to move into wherever we're leaning, right? But it also allows for us to have time to physically connect with each other and deepen some relationships if that appeals. I set the price in a way that might have people think that it's this low level program, but I'll be completely honest, it is heavily subsidized by my husband's pension plan. I just want it to be this cool space for all of us to get together and do the things. So no pressure, but if you are inclined, if this is calling to you, if this is something that you're like, yeah, I would like to do this work. It's not going to be an intensive. It's going to be a program that has us, like today, open something up and then we play with it for a couple of weeks, and then we open something else up and then we play with it for a couple of weeks. So by the end of the year, you look back and go, oh, wow, gosh, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much more like myself. I have much more enriching relationships. And quite frankly, I have some relationships that fell off because they just were, there was no reciprocity there, right? So if you want to be on board, come on, we're going to have so much fun. And if you're not, I hope you got an amazing experience today. But anyway, my blessing.
Is it going to be,
Yes.
is it going to be all Zoom or in person for both?
April, is that April?
Yes.
Okay. It really does. I mean, I know we're going to do in-person stuff. The goal is to have an in-person thing that isn't necessarily an intensive, more of a witnessing each other and having some fun and play. The goal is to have at least one of those a month. So we're getting together. But depending on the size of the group and the wishes of the group and how it forms, we may do more in-person stuff than Zoom stuff. Zoom is convenient. Might even be hybrid stuff. But its build right now is 2 Zoom calls a month. And that's clean and it's doable. But depending on the group, that might change.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions before we sign off?
I think Joe had a question about time.
Yeah, there's a chat stuff.
Oh, here we go. I need my cheaters again. More detail about programs, please. Okay. Was that before I went into detail about the programs?
Yes. Yeah, you covered it.
Will the times be? Oh, shoot. In-laws in an accident. Oh no. I hate that. Okay. I hope they're okay. Times. Right now we're probably going to change it because Kelly brought up that Dancer's Soul is at 11 o'clock on the same Sundays. And that is a really excellent way to root out some of your shit, right? Kelly, right? So we'll probably do it earlier on Sunday, but again, we will be bringing this to the group. I'm thinking dialing it back an hour or an hour and a half earlier on Sunday mornings, 2 Sundays a month, 2nd and 4th.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm an early bird, and when you brought it up, I'm like, in the summertime, nobody wants to be on a Zoom call until 11 on Sunday. They want to go out and play, right? But it can change. This is not, I'm not, I want to hold a container that has structure, but I also don't want to be rigid. So, that's something that can be discussed. And we want to honor the flexibility and rhythms of everybody. So.
I just sort of say I love the idea of being able to roll out of this container into the dance floor and
Oh my gosh.
process with my body everything that was just brought forth, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, because everyone could feel that stuff bubbling up to the surface. You go and dance and it just leaves.
Yeah.
Bye.
And if you haven't ever gone to a Dancer Soul, it's in Richfield every other Sunday at the Masonic, and it is unbelievable.
Yeah. So that may be a really lovely place to connect. I mean, not while we're dancing, because it's pretty ecstatic. You're like doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like dancing in the club. Everybody's internal dancing.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
I'm going to start going. I just thank you for sharing when it is. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, any other questions, comments?
Just thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you for providing this for us today.
Yeah, I love this stuff so much. And I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up, because I couldn't do it unless you did. So thank you very, very much. May peace be with you, and have an awesome, awesome weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.